I saw a tweet a while back that read something along the lines of the first week of Pokemon Go was the closest we've ever come to world peace. And since 2020 ended up being a bit of a weird year, what makes staring at your phone, walking in circles, and trying to catch fictional characters so appealing? Shouldn't really come as a surprise that people love it so much. I mean, Pokemon's one of the highest grossing media franchises of all time. Adults and children all around the world ended up chasing the dragon. I mean, literally chasing the dragon. But now, since we practice social distancing for so long, we look back on simpler times when we could go to the park and enjoy the people around us. At least, somewhat. Most people have fantasized about being in a Pokemon world and which one they would have as their main, and it brings out the child in all of us. So when they finally released a game where you could catch all these monsters in real life, people jumped on the opportunity. They also ended up jumping people's fences to get into their backyard, which is a problem we'll talk about a little bit later. They used to have a system where you could look at the footsteps and you could track down your favorite Pokemon. And track down they would. People were doing triathlons to try and get their favorite Pokemon. They had to jump over a car or two, they would do it. They had to swim through a lake, they would do it. Because if they had to walk 1,000 miles just to see their favorite Pokemon tonight, they would do it. And what's cool about that, people actually had to walk and try and find what they wanted to find, so they ended up losing a ton of weight. It takes your basic gamer who's normally sitting on a couch all day and staring at a TV and moving them outside, well, now they have a fun way to exercise all day. Then now finally that a game has allowed us to leave the safety of our homes, we realize that the outside isn't so bad, and maybe we'll go for a run or two. Maybe. Even if you didn't enjoy the physical part of the game, you could still go outside and enjoy the social aspect of it. Now see, there's these things called Pokestops that are at points of interest, and sometimes there's a large cluster in one area. And these clusters end up being parks, churches, and malls, which therefore become a breeding ground for trainers to come all over and try and catch their favorite Pokemon. And there ended up being these things called lures that you could put on Pokestops to lure your favorite Pokemon to it. And the funny part is there always seemed to be one spot you could stand where you could still be in range for 4 or 5 Pokestops and get the benefits of either the lure or just swipe to get all the Pokeballs. And there always seemed to be a couple of people standing around, staring at their phone, obviously doing the same thing you're doing. And then you end up next to complete strangers, and to break the awkward silence, you're asked something along the lines of, "What's your favorite Pokemon? What team are you on?" What if the multi-universe theory truly does exist, and we're actually inside a universe where Pokemon are normal, but to get away from it, we went into a simulation that would simulate the universe without Pokemon, and the real reason everyone is so obsessed with them is because subconsciously they know what world they are truly from. And sometimes after I ask that, they all of a sudden have something to do, but other times you can get a good conversation out of it. Or maybe you end up making a friend or two, and that's what Pokemon's all about. So I think most of the time you just end up in a weird situation where you're talking to a guy you never met before and they seem really cool. And maybe you'll be friends, maybe you'll hang out, maybe you'll go hunt for Pokemon together sometime. As an adult, it can be hard to make friends sometimes, so it's nice to have a little thing where people go out and maybe they hang out, maybe they don't. You don't have to talk to people, but it's a nice addition to the game if you interact with people and just have a good time. And sometimes there can even be a little bit of banter between people because there's a 3-team system that you have to pick one. If somewhere along the way you meet someone in your Pokemon journey that's on the same team as you, you can also fight gym battles together because fighting together is a lot easier than fighting by yourself. But unfortunately, the hype for Pokemon Go died down and not as many people play it as much as they used to. I think that's partly due to them changing the game a bit, like removing the foot system. People really enjoyed going out and finding the Pokemon they wanted to find. It was that certain adventure that Pokemon should have. Also, people get bored of games, I get it, these things happen, but now if I see someone in a park on their phone, in the spot, I have to think twice before talking to them. So as they say, all good things must come to an end. I don't think the game is actually dead, but it's just not anywhere near what it used to be. Which is okay. The hope is that people have formed their own groups along the way, met people, and all the people that stuck around, they all play with each other and would be people they never would have met if they haven't played the game originally. And now that quarantine's kind of coming to an end, maybe you could grab your old friends that you played Pokemon Go with, go outside and catch some Pokemon. And if not, I hope I restored some of the memories of the good old times when you used to play with them.